Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2019 movie Glass, the follow-up to Unbreakable and of course Split. This is a hotly anticipated movie by many. It was in my most anticipated movies of this year. Really excited to see it. A huge fan of Unbreakable, huge fan of Split. Brilliant movies, and I was delighted that M. Night Shyamalan was, if you like, given another chance with the movie Split to prove what a talented director and writer he really is. Now then, this film has recently been released and it is getting a bit of a mixed response. Critics aren't really loving it, but audience members are. We're getting that classic split at the minute. On which side of the camp do I sit in with this movie? Well, first of all, what is this movie about? This movie follows on. It's about, I think it's from watching the film, it's about 3 weeks after the end of Split. We start with Bruce Willis, David Dunn, who is basically on the hunt for James McAvoy's character, Kevin Crumb. And you see him, he is with his son, he runs his own security firm now. His son now helps him, who's all grown up. And they're trying to track Kevin Crumb. Eventually he finds him, saves some girls, and then they are both taken captive and put into a psychiatric ward that also contains Samuel L. Jackson's character, Elijah Price. And they are treated by Sarah Paulson's character, Dr. Ellie Staple, who specialises in subjects who believe they are superheroes. And she's there to basically give them another option and actually hold the mirror up and try and make them see sense that they aren't these people at all. They're just normal people who've done kind of extraordinary things. So you've got Bruce Willis, who's in his cell, but if he tries to escape, there's like water that will, encase him because he believes water is his weakness. That's Dr. Ellie Staples' reasoning behind it. James McAvoy's in a room that if he tries to get aggressive and escape, there's some lights flash that make him change his personality immediately to a less aggressive one. And you've got Elijah Price, who's basically been comatose for many years, or so they believe. And lo and behold, there is Samuel L. Jackson slowly realises who Kevin Crumb is, and he hatches a kind of a plan while in this psychiatric ward to show the world that superheroes really do exist, and he's got this plan going that he hopes to put into place. Now, that's all I want to really say on the plot of this film. So, like I say, critics aren't loving this, audiences are loving it. And I'm in the category of the audiences here. I must admit, I absolutely love this film. I don't really see what all the fuss is about. I think if you don't like the direction the film takes, about 3/4 of the way through, that I can see that it might be a bit Marmite to some audience members. I actually really enjoyed it. The ending that this film gave us, I thought was very creative, even though it stung a bit. I thought it was probably the best outcome for this story and to tie off these movies properly. I thought it was really clever writing, and I enjoyed it, and I really do applaud M. Night Shyamalan. Didn't have a problem with it at all. Bruce Willis seems to be getting some criticism for his performance. Well, his performance was in accordance to David Dunn in Unbreakable. He was a very melancholy man in that film. My only criticism of his performance here would be he was melancholy in Unbreakable because he hadn't found his way in life and he hadn't found his true calling. And when he does find his true calling, I would have hoped after 19 years of doing good, he might have slightly shifted his personality a little bit to be a bit happier, I suppose. That's my only criticism of the performance, but there's nothing wrong with his performance. It is in tune with his Unbreakable performance. Of course, the standout performance here is James McAvoy, who is outstanding once again, and we get to see more of his personalities this time. And just to watch him go really and do these personalities one after each other like that was just something to behold. And Samuel L. Jackson when is he ever not good? My only criticism of Samuel L. Jackson's role is for most of the film he's almost comatose and says nothing. So he's actually, even though this movie is called Glass, he's actually the least represented character on screen, even though his character probably has the most impact when you add everything up, I suppose. In regards to criticisms, some people might not like the slow burn. Some people might think the psychiatric ward sequences goes on for too long. I thought they were brilliant. I didn't mind the slow burn or the psychiatric ward stuff. There's a couple of... I wasn't so keen on some of the POV shots, which, you know, the shots that are directly into the face. I don't think they worked. And there's a couple of plot holes that I just didn't get. You know, the lights thing for Kevin, when it kept flashing and changing his personality. Well, why couldn't he just cover his eyes and not... and then, you know, he would have had a better chance of getting out. That wasn't brilliant in regards to that. And there was just some kind of this operation procedure that they were going to put Samuel L. Jackson through to operate on his frontal lobe or something like that was supposed to change something dramatically. Well, he has this procedure and it's like, well, nothing happened. It just seemed like a nothing plot point to me. And Samuel L. Jackson's character keeps getting out of his room and nobody seems to care, even though that they've fitted all these extra cameras everywhere and he's been, you know, doing all sorts of things while he's been getting out of his room. So there was a few little plot points that I don't think were tied off particularly well or weren't completely thought out. I loved the connections between all the characters. There is a connection takes place and it's explained, and I really thought that was really well done, and I loved that connection. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was absolutely gripped throughout. Great performances. And what I respect about Bruce Willis's performance as well is he didn't try and outdo McAvoy. McAvoy is the star here in this film. I mean, he's just electric in this role. He really is electric in this role, and I absolutely thought it was magical. But I think Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis both complemented this movie wonderfully, and there is some great action scenes as well, which you may not be expecting. So I'm giving this a very strong 8.5 out of 10. I wanted to give it a 9, but I just held back. I'm not just sure it is worth a 9, but it is out of my sheer enjoyment factor of it, because I can't really give you any real massive complaints about this film. I think it's a great film and I really enjoyed it. So if you're really not sure about going to see Glass, take more note of the audience members who are loving this and not so much the critics, because I think they're being a bit stuffy about it, to be honest. So that's my review for Glass. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll just see you next time on Screen Stars.